Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of social media, sports, pop culture, everything really. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On Twitter, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is a returning guest. He's a professional hockey player. He recently won a Calder Cup in the AHL with the Charlotte Checkers. We're with Nicolas Roy. Nick, welcome back to Popternative.
Hey, thank you.
And before we get into the Calder Cup, it was announced last week that you were traded to the Vegas Golden Knights for Eric Haula. So a new start for Nicolas Roy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of surprised. I didn't think I was going to be traded, but I mean that's a good surprise. I think they really like me in Vegas, so it's a really good opportunity for me, and I'm excited about that.
I think it gives you an opportunity. It gives Vegas the opportunity to have a guy like yourself with size that plays kind of the 200-foot game. Is that safe to say that's what they're going to get?
Yeah, that's what they told me. They said they want a guy that can be good offensively and defensively, and that's what I can bring. So, of course, I'll work out this summer and be ready for the season. And
that's kind of moving forward. We got to talk about the amazing run that you had in Charlotte. You guys won the whole thing. You guys were champions. I mean, that was just kind of a grind throughout the whole year. You know, if anyone who follows the AHL knows it was a grind, and Charlotte had a very good team. But just take us back a little bit. I mean, it was just like, was it the group of guys, like the guys you had in the room? Did it just like click right away from the beginning of the year? Like, take us through the playoffs with the Checkers.
Yeah, I think from the start of the season to the end, we had a really good group of guys. Everybody was dialed in and ready to compete for the team, and we knew it was going to be hard because we had kind of a young team compared to some other teams there. But we believed in our group, and we did it. So it's awesome, and we're really proud of ourselves.
I've got to give a shout out to Julien Gauthier, the goat, the big goat, because you guys were celebrating a lot on Instagram as well, and it's just like how can you even describe being like a champion? Like it's just I don't think there's words to describe it, right, Nick?
No, it's unreal. It's just you're working. I'm working out like all the time and all practices and everything for one goal, and when you achieve it, it's just unreal.
So what has been kind of the offseason been like now for Nicolas Roy? I mean, we found out that you got traded, but it's just been kind of in the gym, but you've had some downtime as well, I'm hoping.
Yeah, exactly. Well, season ended pretty late, so I took two weeks off, and I started to go back in the gym in last Monday. So big we're working out summer coming up, and like I said, I'll try to be as ready as I can for camp.
What was kind of the hardest thing that you had to kind of face in the AHL this year, Nick?
You mean like something I have to face, like
yeah, I mean, was it kind of, I mean, the AHL is a very hard league to play in. Everyone wants the spot, everyone wants to go in the NHL as well. Was that kind of were the games a lot kind of harder than you thought they were going to be? Like, take us through your year in the AHL.
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. It started really good. I had player of the week. I got called up with the Canes for a couple games. Then maybe like a month, it was a little bit tougher to adapt back to the AHL, and then all the end of the season was really great, and playoff was unbelievable. So I'm really happy with my season.
When you're in the AHL, everyone's kind of like paying attention to the NHL as well, what's going on, because a lot of your past teammates in junior or in pro are kind of going for the cup as well. I mean, the St. Louis Blues were a team that were the last place team in the NHL in January, and they won the whole Stanley Cup. Is that just kind of a testament to how tight the NHL is becoming as a league, Nick?
Yeah, exactly. We've seen the playoffs this year. It was all surprises. Every playoffs were kind of surprises. So you can say and see how tight it is. Like the team that works the most and have the best chemistry, usually they win. So it's fun to see.
Moving forward with the Vegas Golden Knights, this is a team that this team hasn't even been around for like 5 years. You know what I mean? They're going into their third season, and they've already had so much success, and there's so much star power on the team already. You're joining a team. Are you prepared to join a team that's in a very unique situation like the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah, I'm so excited about it, and I've been watching the team for 2 years, like most of the people, and it's just unbelievable what they did so far. So um, hopefully I'll be a part of this team this year and try to keep going.
Was there something this year that you wanted to work on with your game? Was there specific kind of elements? Obviously, every year you guys want to become bigger, faster, stronger. That's kind of like the obvious. But was there anything that you kind of wanted to work on with your game this year, Nick?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty big already, so I really want to work on my skating. So my agility on the ice, my speed. I mean, I've improved a lot in the last couple of years, but every summer I just got to keep working on it.
The one thing I want to bring up is the NHL draft recently happened, and you're Canadian. You've represented Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship, and you've also faced Team USA, who had a lot of guys from the United States National Team Development Program get drafted, and these are a lot of guys you faced in the World Juniors and the gold medal game as well. Canada, is still on the top for producing hockey players, but USA is right there. Have you noticed that in the last couple of years, especially when you were in the World Juniors that year in Montreal?
Yeah, I think USA is right there, but every other countries are going up as well. You can see Finns going up, Swedes. So you can tell like it's back in the days it was mostly Canada winning, but now it's you don't really know. So it's kind of fun for competition.
You mentioned Finland. What made when you played Finland and when you had a chance to play Finland internationally when you were in Canada? What did you kind of notice from Finland? It's just like a hardworking team. It's nothing flashy it's nothing flashy. It's not skills. They just keep working hard.
Yeah, they have a good work ethic, and I think they're fast as well. Most of them are really fast. So usually they really have good teams.
No, absolutely. What's harder, playing international hockey or playing in the leagues? Like, what for you specifically? Because it's a bigger ice in international. But what did you kind of prefer?
It's a tough question. I like to play against the other countries. I mean, it's a big challenge, and you can tell all the countries they play a different style. So it's a good challenge.
Moving forward, what does Nicolas Roy need to do to make the Vegas Golden Knights this season, or have an impact right away with, if you start in the AHL with Chicago, what do you have to do to kind of make a good impression with the Golden Knights?
Just play my game. Like I said, I'll work out a lot this summer and be ready for camp, but just show what I can do. I'm good offensively. I'm good defensively. Can be PK guy. Really good on faceoff. Protect the puck pretty well with my body. So I just got to show what I can do.
An interesting thing I want to talk to you about that you can kind of relate to your days back with Chicoutimi in the Quebec Major Hockey League as well, is it's an interesting setting, hockey players, because you're playing in when you were playing in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, you were a kid, and when you're playing in the AHL, you're still a younger guy compared to other people, and basically you're kind of learning and have people that you look up to as well, like players, but at the same time, there are young kids that are looking up to guys like you as well, that want to be your footsteps in junior or your first year's pro as well. So it's an interesting situation because you're kind of in the middle, right? You're learning, but at the same time, people are learning from you. Have you ever thought about that at all?
I mean, a little bit, but it's kind of true. I've never really thought about it, but Yeah, that
I mean, the fan base in the Quebec Mirror Junior Hockey League was amazing. You know, when you played for the Saguenay, you know, there were people there, like there were fans, there was community events. You know, you were a kid, you had school, you had that type of stuff, but you were it was a pro setting.
Yeah.
Which I find really, really interesting. What were some of your favorite moments playing? You know, because we're talking about Vegas Golden Knights, but you know what I mean. I mean, you had a successful year, a successful time in the Carolina Hurricanes organization, winning, you know, a Calder Cup. What are some memories that you're going to kind of take towards your new career with the Vegas Golden Knights?
Of course, what we did in playoffs, I think, is just experience, and I'm just gonna keep moving forward with it. But it's just for the next time I'm going to be in playoffs, it's gonna be huge. Like those big games you play in Game 7, Game 6. Game 6, I think we won in overtime against the Marlies. It was a really big game, and it's good for the experience.
You obviously have to make the playoffs, but are we kind of moving towards this whole, you saw it with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we had Matthew Joseph on the show to talk about it. I mean, are we kind of moving forward to a point as like, the regular, as for the playoff teams, the regular season really doesn't matter? Do you think that, or do you think or there's more flukes? Like, it's kind of hard to say, but what happened in the NHL playoffs this year was insane.
Yeah, I know, it was insane. I wasn't ready for that. Like, it was, like I said before, it was like all upsets, but it's so close in between the teams. So I think we're gonna see that more often every year.
Moving forward, who are some players that you played with on the Charlotte Checkers? We can't say Julien Gauthier because I know he's a friend of yours, but we're not going to give him we're not going to give him a shout out because he hasn't come on the show yet. You've been on the show 2 times and he hasn't been on once. So, Julien, I'm not happy with you. But other than that, who are some players that you played with that don't get as much kind of recognition or not kind of big names that you were like, wow, look, this guy's a good teammate, a good player? Is there anyone kind of on the Checkers that doesn't get as much recognition that's a very good player?
Well, I think our captain Patrick Brown has been in the AHL for most of his career, but I mean, he's a really good player. He's a really good teammate, good leader. So he brings a lot too. He's kind of playing the same style as me, good offensively and defensively. But I think he's been overlooked a little bit, but he's a really good player.
One more thing before we bring up, before we wrap up, we talked about it last time when you were on the show, because I remember we talked about how you played tennis growing up.
Yeah.
I always thought it interesting because I just interviewed Isaiah Roby, who just got drafted in the NBA by the Dallas Mavericks in the second round, and he was talking about how he played football growing up. Still, we're seeing it more and more. How important is it for athletes to play more than one sport growing up?
Well, I think it's really, really important. There's so many things you can work on in different sports. Like tennis, my agility was really good. My hands too, but it's the same for every sport. So I think it's really important for young people to practice more than one sport.
Absolutely, man. Well, Nick, thank you for coming back on the show. I really, really appreciate it, man. All the best with the new situation with the Vegas Golden Knights, man. It's an exciting time, and I hope you enjoy it. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up?
Thank you, Pete. Thank you very much.
Where can people follow you on social media? What's the handles again?
I think it's Nick Roy 55.
Perfect, man. Well, all the best. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Nicolas Roy and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.